Who would you be if you continually displayed self respect and self compassion? I remember that there was a time when I went to New York and it was post graduating from Hampton University. And I decided to take a $15 China bus, had an air mattress and a suitcase. And I took myself after graduating and got on the bus and went to New York City because I decided that I did not want to go back to my hometown of Cincinnati. I was told, Fatima, you need to come back home. We don't know if you're going to make it 6 weeks. I ended up lasting 6 years, but that's not the point. In the midst of actually going to New York, I felt there was this draw, this desire to do something, and it was incredibly exciting, just as much as I felt anxious. And I remember when I got there to New York, I got to Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy, and as I was getting off the A train and carrying up my stuff up the stairs, there was this guy, random person, random stranger, who was just like, "Welcome home." And I remember I smiled so big because after this big journey, not having less than $300 in my bank account, I found a place to live, but I did not have a job and I needed to find one. I had an unpaid internship at the time, and I just had my air mattress in my suitcase. And I just felt, I followed my heart and said, "This is what I think I want to do. This is what I feel I want to do, what I should be doing." And to hear a stranger say, "Welcome home," not even knowing if I was from there or not, was just, I believe, God's way of speaking through him to let him know that I was on a journey, embarking on a journey that he was going to handle for me and be there with me and be there for me. But man, the decision to say that I'm going to stay outside of my comfort zone because I believe there is something more for me, despite not having all the details, all the facts, all the information, was a part of how when I look back, is how I demonstrated self respect for myself. So when you have self respect, you see and understand that you are worthy and you are valuable, that you are unique, you are a special creation, and there is no one on this earth like you. DNA, there's so many different people, but there's no one singular set of DNA that is identical. You are the only version of you that has ever existed on this planet. And that is in this time, and that is in the future and in the past. You are the only version. And who you get to be and who you get to become is so unique and blessed in this world that we need it. And self respect is continuing to be with yourself to say, I actually am going to be curious enough to believe this. And it's different from self esteem, where self esteem is you feel confident that you're a good person and that you'll do nice things and that you believe in your ability to do work and different things and show up and be a good friend. But self respect is, I feel, it's a level of self worth where you desire and you know and you have this intrinsic value within yourself. Like, I'm going to do a little bit more to show up for myself, not for anyone else. It is an inside out thing. It's not an outside in where people are giving you applauses and approval and praise. Then you feel like you're worthy of self respect. No, self respect is you desire and you feel it, this love within you and this warmth within you, even if it's just a little bit. You feel it. And that is what helps to grow, what God uses to grow inside of you, to influence you and encourage you to do more and become more. Self compassion in this moment for myself. I needed to be gentle when I got to New York because I didn't have money for furniture. I didn't have money for these fancy meals. I was eating ramen noodles and I was happy. Can you believe I was happy eating ramen noodles? I was happy because I didn't have curtains on my bed. I had an air mattress and it wasn't a real mattress. Yes, I had to keep inflating it back up, blowing it back up because it caught a little tear and I'm like waking up lopsided. But guess what? I was happy because I chose myself and I chose that decision for myself. And it, as scary as it was being in the place, in the position, I had no idea how much courage it took looking back. And I had to have self compassion because who I saw myself as when I got to New York was not, she was not that, I was not that version when I got off that bus, okay? Off that A train. it was a progression and self-compassion through that, and being gentle with yourself, knowing that your experiences, knowing who you are, knowing everything, your thoughts, everything that brought you to this point in your life, to this point of you watching even this video, has been uniquely and divinely crafted for you, and it's a part of your experiences. And so you make decisions based on the information you know, and you're making the best decision for yourself based on the information you have today. And self-compassion is giving yourself that grace in between the transition. When you're navigating a transition between your old self, where you know, I need to change. The way that I've been doing things is not what I want, and it's not the results that I'm getting is not what I want. And on top of that, time is just moving forward. I see other people doing things. I see other people moving forward on with their lives, and I'm still the same. I'm just getting older. Time doesn't create change. Growth does. Time doesn't heal all wounds. Growth heals wounds. And inside of this, you realize that I'm in my old self, my old identity. I want to change. And you're yet still not as familiar with who you're becoming, because it takes time to develop this. It takes micro steps. It takes getting 1% better each day. And it's not the process that many people glamorize. It's not the process that I can even say in myself. It's been messy, but I'm a messy blessing, and so are you. And inside of that transition, we forget that there is an inner child inside of you. There's an inner child inside of you who wants to protect you, who wants you to stay safe, who wants you to stay the same, who wants to operate within the realms of what you're used to. And then God, your creator, will insert this little thing called spirit, not a little thing, a big thing, in spirit, that has you start to think and in your heart, and gives you dreams about ways that you can be, gives you visions about who you can become. And when you see something that someone else is doing or has, you just like, wow, your heart leaps, your spirit leaps. That's a sign. That's a sign that it's for you. Because if it's not something that you are desiring, you won't have the desire for it in general. And if you have, the very desire is the evidence that you can have it. The challenge is, how do you go from being in your old self and old identity to then becoming the new person? And a part of this is, you can be in a situation so much so, and you can feel overwhelmed, you can feel stuck, you can ask yourself these questions. And I even congratulate you for even turning on and tuning into this video. But inside of it is, you lack discipline. It's not that who you're trying to become is impossible or so far away that you can't get it, because you're here and you're trying to get over here. It is deciding to be disciplined and operate in the mode of who you're becoming, even when it doesn't make sense. I know, it sounds weird, but just hang on with me. What you need is self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to overcome your weaknesses despite the temptation to do otherwise. It is easy for you to do the routine. It is easier for you to be in the comfort zone. It's easier to do what you've always been doing, but you're going to get the same results. We know this. We've heard this. And you feel this tug of war between your inner self and who you're becoming. I get it. I've been there. I'm still doing the work now. But inside of self-discipline, this will help you to create the version of who you're becoming. And in the middle of it, be sure to give yourself some grace and some compassion. It says in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verses 7, that God did not give us a mind of fear or timidity, meaning acting scared like you can't do it, or like something's wrong with you, or like you're so broken that you can't get up. He didn't. He gave us a mind of power. He gave us a mind of power. Power is the ability to influence the behaviors of others and events around us. It is the ability to act in a particular way. To act in a way as though you know who you are, as though you know whose you are, and you know what it is that you're doing. To act in that way. Yes, you have to believe it, right? So because you can start to do the things, and then over time you begin to self-sabotage because you actually don't believe in becoming the person to actually do the things who can have the thing. But he gave you the ability. Everything that you ever needed, he gave to you at birth. You already have all the skills. And so he gave you the ability to have power. It's his spirit. He gave you the ability to have love. He loved you so much that he died for you. You are worth dying for. You are worth dying for. You're worth dying for. And even if it was just you on this earth, on this planet, that he was like, okay, I'm going to save at least one person, you're still worth that sacrifice. I'm saying that because I also needed to hear that. I needed to know that. I needed to know that I was worthy enough. I was worth enough. I was loved enough. I was safe and protected enough to make the change. And I'm here to tell you that you are too. And as I mentioned before, he gave us a mind of self discipline, the ability to overcome our weaknesses despite temptation to do otherwise. Being clear about what it is that you want to do and deciding despite your emotions, because your emotions are your guiding force. Your emotions tell you if something feels good or if it feels bad, if it feels off. And at times when you're inside of your old identity and becoming your new person, you give way to your emotions. Your emotions get inside of you and inside of your heart and your mind, that it starts to delay your action and your activity. So really, it's not so much about time management all the time. It's about emotional management. If you can regulate and learn how to manage your emotions, not control them in a way that you don't feel what you feel, but in a way where you recognize what it is that you feel, and then you decide anyway to move forward regardless of the feeling or emotion. I want to give you some tips on what I want you to do. I want you to do AEAAP. I want you to acknowledge, empower, affirm, act, and then pray. AEAAP. When I say that I want you to acknowledge, I want you to acknowledge your inner child. I want you to acknowledge your heart. Don't bypass yourself. I've done that before, and it has caused me pain because I went in to do the thing as a natural career woman in project management. I can manage budgets and timelines and all of these things, but I did it in a way where I moved past my emotions. And therefore, what the result of what I was going for wasn't sustainable because I wasn't bringing my full self to it. I was just bringing my mind. I left my heart. So I want you to acknowledge yourself. Bring your mind and what you want, but bring your heart. It is scary. It is scary to do something new that you've never done. Even if it's just deciding to take a new job or to move to a new city, it is scary. It is scary, but I want you to acknowledge those feelings because they're real. Those feelings are very real, and it's okay to have those feelings. Next, I want you to empower your new self, because there is a spirit of God that is working inside of you that is encouraging you for more. It is encouraging, like I said before, it is encouraging your desires to do more, to become more. Be in co-creation with God. Take him at his word. You may not know all of the answers, and it's okay. You don't have to, but you can take God at his word. If you say, God, I feel fear right now, but you said that you gave me a mind of power, love, and self-discipline. Can you show me what that looks like? I trust you, and I'm leaning on you to do it. Take him at his word and try. Allow his word and what he says to be your anchor above how you feel and the emotions that keep you stuck. Next, I want you to create an affirmation. I want you to create an affirmation while you're going through this, because it's mind work and heart work at the same time. And no one would tell you, if you thought about like the iceberg, where they say that all of these things happen and people just see the tip of the iceberg, and that they don't really see the underneath all the work that's happening. The part that I'm talking about is all the work underneath. I want you to affirm, even if your affirmation is everything is working out for me, regardless of if I understand it or not yet. It is working out for me, and it's helping me to become my best self. Or I'm worthy to be gentle with myself through this change. I'm worthy to be gentle with myself through this change. You can borrow that one, or you can create your own, but whatever it is, make sure it feels good to you. The next thing that I want you to do is to act. We're going to do all of this work underneath, but then we got to do something after. I want you to act. I want you to act in the way that you see your new self. If you have different goals, I want you to come up with 3 of them, at least 3 goals. And it could be, if I want to start a new job, let me go on LinkedIn or let me go on Indeed and find people that maybe are in the role that I think I want, and reach out if I can do informational interviews to understand more about their career, how they got to where they got, and what things, the pros and cons that they like about their career or don't like, and what they think they could have done differently, and advice for you. If you're wanting to move to a new city, see if they have any random flash sales online to go on to that city that you can just visit for a day or a weekend. Find people who are in that area and connect and reach out. You can even just look up to see what is the cost of the flight to get there, what's the cost of living. If you want to go on a trip, that dream vacation, you might not have to have the money today to get it, but look online to see how much is the flight. What is the estimated best time frame to travel? What type of activities would you like to do? Get excited about the things that you want to do. These goals are not just goals to punish you. These are not goals that if you don't meet them, you're now a failure and that you have to have shame and guilt around them and you no longer have the motivation or desire or encouragement to go after it. That's not this. Having goals are to help you pull and move yourself forward. That's all it is. And take one step forward on each of your 3 goals. The last thing that I want you to do, the last thing is P. I want you to pray. Prayer is a weapon. And it's not this hoobie-jeebie type of thing. Prayer changes things. It changes you. I want you to thank God for even allowing you to be in this space where you are now aware of the things that are happening inside of your heart and that you're aware of the desire you have to move from your old self to your new self. That's God moving in you. Even if you haven't seen anything, picked up a pen to write a goal, did something on, talk to a friend about it, what's happening in here is God activating in you already. Thank Him for it. I want you to thank Him for helping you to also co-create with Him. We have to go higher. We have to think higher. We have to believe bigger. We have to desire to see that desire. We have to want the desire more and the curiosity, and allow your curiosity to drive you higher than where you've been. He said that your latter will be better than your former. There are so many amazing and brilliant things in store for you. And a part of the work that you are doing, God is working through you in it. And a part of your career, I believe, is for you, for each person, is their gift is to be an extension and an expression of God's love through you to other people. Whatever that thing is that you do, if you speak, if you write, if you dance, if you skate, if you teach, if you're a therapist, whatever the thing that you're doing, that is your gifting. And you're never meant to just sit on it. We are here with a finite amount of time. It is limited. And that spirit inside of you, even drawing you inside of this video, is a part of that. It's a part of pulling you forward. And it's okay, remember, to not have it all together. You are becoming. And a year from now, 6 months from now, even 3 months from now, you can look back and say, I've been doing the work. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it. I want to leave you with 2 Timothy chapter 1, verses 7. Read that. And I hope that this episode has been good. I hope that you learned something. I hope that it inspired you, it encouraged you. I want you to like, subscribe, and share. And I want to start a conversation with you. Enter in the comments, what does self-respect mean to you? What does being your old self transitioning into your new self feel like? Let's have a conversation. I'm Fatima, and I look forward to mastering this transition with you together.